Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 121. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I'm one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra. The summer is almost over, Mark. We're getting ready to get into the fall of games. I know, it's sad. It's going to be 100 degrees tomorrow here, though, so it's not letting us go without a fight. It's kind of crazy. But you know what? I'm looking forward to crisp leaves, pumpkin spice lattes, football, and more time with games. And I'm joined by the Canadian, Mark Carabin. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I am sad that summer's coming to a close. It was rainy here today. You get that not really fall in the air. It's still pretty warm, very, very humid here. But what's coming. The stores are starting to put out the spooky season stuff. And I like that. I love spooky season. Don't get me wrong. My birthday's in the fall. I've got a bunch of fun stuff coming up in the fall. But I also love the summer. I'm not ready to let go of beach time. I am excited to get more gaming. You'll find out a little bit later that I have been playing nothing, or very little. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk games, and yeah, we'll hold on to this last bit of summer while we can.
Absolutely. And we want to thank the people that make this show possible. And that is our Patreon Secret Friends Squad. Yes, we've got our BFFs, Sean, Stella, Henry Nias, Missy Merchant, Andy Milken. Just had lunch with Sean. It was a very nice lunch. He and Henry were talking about games and stuff. That was a lot of fun. Awesome. And then our best bud, Jamie Prinky. Thank you all for helping us out. And we also want to say thank you to our newest Patreon. That's Mr. Luke Lore, a.k.a. Sipid Ghost. He's been on many of our shows, and he is a DC superfan. He does XUP podcast, and just a super nice guy. He's a teacher. He's going back to school, so wish him well, as he has to teach ordinary kids who really don't want to be back in school either.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Luke. That's amazing, man. Thanks for the support. That's great.
Yes.
We got to get him back on this show. It's been a while.
You know, that's a good point. We need to bring Luke back on. We'll have to figure out when his availability is, but it's always great because Luke is just, he finds the fun in whatever he does. He's not focused just on Xbox. That's what he focuses on from a podcast, but he plays everywhere, which I really, except for Nintendo. He's not a Nintendo guy. So don't hold that against him. It's just not in his wheelhouse predominantly. Yeah. No, you don't. Yeah. But he likes Star Wars. He likes Star Trek. He likes Babylon 5. So he's got all of and he's a big DC fan too. So he kind of covers all the geek wheelhouse. So Luke's a great guy. Like I said, follow Luke, Captain Logan on XEP, and then Luke does some of the best interviews in the business. Getting a lot of those out there right now. Getting a lot of coverage. He's misquoted a lot of times. They don't give him appropriate quotation on the interviews he does. So he's great. So check out Luke. But Mark, something we need to check out. And I will just tell you, this is a buy rent return. You shot me down my first request.
I didn't shoot you down. I thought it was a funny concept. I just couldn't think of any games that were sticking out in my mind. And again, I've been on vacation. I've had my sister and my nephews here. They were only home for a week. They live on the opposite side of the country. So it's been just go, 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 go. Video games haven't been on my mind. So when you hit me with this, it was just nothing's coming to mind. There's nothing in my wheelhouse that's really coming. And the ones you pitched out, I was like, how does that work?
I picked romance, best games for romance, and it was funny because I was trying to think of, because I don't do a lot of anime games, and they always have relationships, like Fire Emblem is huge with that. And I put Pokemon. I'm like, is there any Pokemon romances? There's animal husbandry. I mean,
aside from dropping a Pokemon in the daycare with a Ditto, and then an egg pops out after a few steps, there's not really a romantic thread through most of the Pokemon games. So that's the one that threw me off. And I was like, dude, I can't even think right now.
Yeah, because Mass Effect was there, obviously. Yeah. Witcher, there's some romance there. And then the other one I threw out was Splatoon. There's got to be romance in Splatoon because there's a lot of thirsty people out there in Splatoon. Toontown.
There's a big, and this is what I was like, wait a second. So we gotta shelf this and think about the right way to do this one, because I think it's hilarious, because there's a couple of different things we can do. One is the romance in the games, like The Witcher and whatever, like the anime games that like you pick, a husbando or a waifu and you make the things happen and then you go. But then there's the things like Splatoon, where it's just like a bunch of horny people on the internet are like, I'm gonna like wife this one
don't
up
check
and make some
the alt
art.
Reddit page.
Just don't
Splatoon fan
Google
art.
the art. Right. So like there's two different ones, and that's like Splatoon doesn't have barely even a story, let alone a romance thread that you can pursue throughout it. So like, yeah, I think there's a couple of different ways we can spin it, and I think it's something to shelf for another episode. But you came up with an awesome one that then tied into some news that we got today. So this whole thing just kind of came around and came together.
Yeah, I was inspired. So romance will come back. Mark will find his cold heart. He'll find love in the world of video games. But until that happens, or we get a Pokemon romance simulator, which, why not? That's money, leaving money on the table.
They've done toothbrushing. They've done bedtime. Romance. I think it's next.
Walking.
Walking.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. It's a walking simulator. Yep. You actually walk. The news came out that Xbox is actually doing something I think is very cool, like PlayStation now, where essentially they're basically allowing you to customize the consoles you already own. PlayStation with the 5, they have the side panels. They've released multiple of those. I tried to pre-order the Spider-Man 2 side plates. Cannot get them. They're out of the pre-orders are out, so I'm hoping they'll just put those for sale later on. And now Xbox is creating essentially, I don't even know what you call it. It's skins, but it's not like stickers. It's essentially a wrap that Velcros around. It's apparently a very nice fabric that's printed, and it has silicone on the inside, so it actually attaches pretty nicely, and it's got a Velcro. So it's not going to block any of your events. All of the inputs and everything are uncovered. And the first one they've got is Starfield, which is great because everybody was asking, where's the custom, the special edition Starfield console? And then they have 2 camouflages, which I always think is funny. It's like, is there like a big market for camouflage, like blue camouflage, green camouflage, pink camouflage? Because they keep bringing them out.
It's got to sell. I don't know anyone who sees those controllers. Like I see people freak out about some of the other controllers, and like I grabbed a couple of them that had like the unique texture grip and stuff like that, where every one of them looks different. I forget the exact names of them. There's like the purple and the white one. But like the camo ones, like it has to. They keep pushing out new versions of camo. There's camo in the design labs. And now there's 2 camo wraps. It seems like a weird choice because everyone that I know is just like, I don't know. Like, do you get it for the memes? Do people get it for the memes and then the controller's on the table and you're like, I can't find my controller. And it's like a blue camo controller on your coffee table and it's very visible. And you're like, oh no, where is it? Yeah, you're like, I could, but I don't know. Like maybe people are spending money on that. If you like camo game accessories, let us know. Someone at work, so I work at a car dealership, someone just bought a new truck and wrapped the entire thing in camo. I'm talking like head to toe, soup to nuts. This thing is just camo. And like paid, I don't know if anyone's looked up like custom car wraps, like full custom. I'm not talking like a little vinyl cutout, like from like someone's Cricut or something. Like this is custom, full, everything on this car on this truck is camo. And it's like, this dude loves camo. The only thing that's not on it were like the tires. So of course the joke was like, who left the tires out in the parking lot? Anyone see it? Like there's just tires sitting out there, and like everyone would come in for like 2 days until the guy picked up his truck. It was just like, this is tires sitting out in the parking lot. But like, yeah, so people, like the people that love camo, I guess. I don't know. It's Not
it's
my jam.
definitely a choice that's like two of your introductory colors, but they're out there for the Series X up for pre-order now, $50 a piece. I think these are really cool. I love it. I think it adds, it allows you to celebrate your fandom without breaking the bank and having to be stuck with another console, selling an old console to just, so when it's just a design element, not a functional thing. So I think this is really cool. Unfortunately, it's only for the X. The S doesn't have that. And I could see why, because the S has that big old fan on the side. It's less real estate. And quite honestly, I don't know how people normally position their S. But I think makes it even harder too, because is it upright? Is it sideways? I don't know anybody who puts their X sideways, like horizontal. You do?
You're talking to one right now, yeah.
Oh, so you're not. So this doesn't work for you, Mark.
Nope.
Ah,
no.
darn.
I mean, I could reposition it. I turned mine sideways because we got a much bigger TV. I didn't want to put it in the cabinet because the thing gets so hot. So it's behind my TV. So I don't see my Xbox anyway. So I don't need to wrap it because it's invisible. So it's behind my TV, but where I had it positioned, it was also blowing a whole lot of hot air up at my Ecobee thermostat and was causing it to think it was like 1 billion degrees in my house because it's like the sensor's right there. So it's just like, hey, I think your house is on fire. And it's like, nah, that's my Xbox. Thanks. So I could rearrange
12 degrees.
So I could rearrange everything behind my TV, or I could just tip the little sucker on its side and it's fine. It just blows the hot air sideways and it's great. So yeah, it blows it right here. If you can see Mando's helmet behind me, it blows it
hand warmer
that way. That's it.
Yeah, nice.
It's on the other side of that wall. So yeah, these, as much as I love custom stuff, don't really apply to me because A, sideways, and B, hidden console completely. Yeah. Just doesn't.
Yeah, mine is actually like all of my entertainment stuff is in the basement. It's my geek den, and luckily my utility room is right on the other side of the wall, and so I have my TV mounted and all my consoles are on the other side. It works perfect because I get no interference, so my consoles are all on the other side and they're breathing nicely. So it would be more like, oh, I got these panels and I spent money to not see them. So it probably isn't for me either, but if I was in a different spot like my old house, it would definitely be something I'd do. But Mark, so our buy rent return this week is called, it's basically worst custom consoles. So and called special edition consoles because there's customs that people make on their own that like they make them look horribly ugly. Yeah. They do weird things, but these are actually released by the manufacturers. So sometimes they're mass releases. Sometimes they're one-off for like a contest. So ours is like a mix of those because I try to pick the ones that I found like not aesthetically pleasing to me or not very useful and functional. So that's what I picked this week. And if anybody has any others that they think are would be good ideas, let us know. There's some really garish gold consoles back with PlayStation. Mark, I found a Shrek Game Boy SP edition. It was orange and green. It was ugly. And it was like top and bottom horrible. Wow. Didn't even come with the Shrek game. So I don't know what the deal with that one was. Yeah, really, really dumb. So the ones I picked, Mark, were the Mountain Dew Xbox. Now this is the OG Xbox. It's it's a weird color green. I guess that's Mountain Dew green, but it's not attractive, and it does have a Mountain Dew as part of the Xbox logo. Yeah. Then there's the Xbox Series S Oreo edition, and not only do you get an Oreo themed console, you get an Oreo themed controller where it's got a lot of that white stuff on it. Yes. And then we're bringing camo back, the PlayStation 4 camo. It is really green. Really green.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very green camo. Yeah.
Yes. It also comes with the controller as well.
I have to ask something up front. Worst custom consoles. Is the buy for this the worst of the worst? Or are we returning the worst? Like the buy would still be our personal favorite of this Todd's bottom of the barrel bunch.
It's your favorite of the worst.
Okay. All right. I like it. We got a couple of write-ins. Do you want to go to those first, or do you want to give our answers first?
Oh, let's do the write-ins first.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start off with the Winter Gamer, who will buy the Series S Oreo Special Edition, especially with back compatibility. He's thinking practical plus custom, play the most stuff, play the current stuff. That's a solid choice. Rent Mountain Dew because you do the do.
So it's not even a
solid reasoning. Hey, he's the Winter Gamer. He doesn't need any other
marketing
reason
worked.
than that. You do the do. That is it. The marketing definitely worked. And return camo PlayStation 4 because anything in camo is hard to find. Playing into the memes, playing into the jokes.
Dad jokes.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Do you want to grab the next one?
Sure. Famous Seamus. Thank you, Seamus. Buy Mountain Dew Xbox because it's a piece of history. Okay. It's history. Yes, true. Rent Oreo Series S. I've never seen this before, and I just wanted to have it for the night as a conversation starter. Very true. It definitely stands out. Why the hell do you have a big Oreo? Regardless if you like video games or not, you've got a big Oreo in your house.
That's it.
So, and I don't know anybody who doesn't like Oreos. I don't know. In Canada, Mark, you probably don't have Oreos. You probably have like weird, like Canadian version, like Hydrox. Like we have the knockoff of Oreos. Do you have Oreos?
No, we
in
have.
Canada, Mark?
We have Oreos. I'm currently rocking the Super Mario Edition Oreos in my Batman cookie jar, about 15 feet away from me, 10 feet away. If I had the force, I would grab an Oreo right meow.
Nice. And then return PS4 camo. I don't hunt, so camo is totally useless to me. That's true. That's true. He's not wrapping anything in camo, Mark.
No. Famous Seamus. Good answer. Solid. I like, you have to agree, like that Mountain Dew Xbox. There's some like the history of like Mountain Dew and video games and like everything coming together in a real console, right? Like there is some history there. Feels like a museum piece.
Yeah, there's no like Balls energy drink GameCube out there.
Right. Yeah. A Monster Energy Ouya. Edward Varnell, did he just write Mountain Dew Xbox? That's the
Mountain Dew Xbox. We don't know why, what, where, when. Although I will say, based on Ed's like dietary inputs, he would eat the Oreo actually, probably, because he is nutritionally not sound. Ed is like, and I've met Ed in person. You can't tell that he eats badly because he looks like he's in good shape. So I'm like, I know what you're doing, Ed. Keep going, man.
Whatever works for him, man. He's got something working for him for sure. But I love that that's his only answer. The other two, I don't even care. Return them both. Like he just wants this one. That's great.
I don't even know if I don't even know if he. I mean, maybe he. Mountain Dew's his favorite beverage. He loves Xbox. Maybe. He loves the color. Yeah. No. Ed's an enigma.
Nothing. Yep.
Edward Enigma.
That's great. Yeah. Yep. The Riddler. All right. Do you want to tackle this first, or you're throwing it to me?
Sure. I'll go with this. So, I think I've got to go with the Oreo as well, although it's completely impractical. The last thing you want is more crap around your expensive electronics. So like airflow, heat, insulation, probably not a good idea. And quite honestly, when I see that, it makes me want to eat an Oreo. I might get hungry one night and eat it by mistake. So probably a bad idea for me, but it is the most unique of them. So I think it stands out. But Mark, you would be stuck in only mounting it that way. So if you're limited in space, it's kind of a bad decision. But once again.
Yeah. It does look like something you could take out of that. Could you not? Like it looks, from the pictures I'm seeing, it looks like the main Oreo thing is like, it's almost like
Could you just
base.
take it out?
It's a stand. Oh, wow. It looks like you just take the white console out of the Oreo and just have it there. And so it looks like it's a stand.
Okay.
Like a shell.
Okay, I feel a little differently now. feel a little differently
Hmm.
now. That's really interesting. I wonder who won this thing anyways, because I want to see the person who won these things, like the
Hmm.
Mountain Dew Xbox. I just want to see the people who won these cool things. And do they still have them? Did they sell them on eBay? But I would go with the Oreo. It's pretty cool. Plus, it's modern, so I can play all the new games on it.
Yeah.
Then I would go Mountain Dew Xbox because it does just remind me of a different age in gaming. Everything was extreme with the Xbox, the big X on it. It's such a cool looking box to begin with. And then
Hmm.
it's just that horribly ugly green. It just, it probably glows for all we know. I don't know. It probably says do the do when you push the button too, Mark. I don't know its
Oh,
features and
that might
elements.
tip the scales for me, actually, if it did that.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably plus it would still play games maybe. You can hook it up to the internet. I don't know, maybe it's just a big paperweight. Who knows? But yeah, I would go with Mountain Dew Xbox. And then lastly, that PlayStation 4 camo, that thing is just god awful ugly.
Yeah.
It's just sitting out there saying, look at me, look at me. And I just want to throw it in a field and walk away and never see it again.
Yeah, that's I have to pick the exact same list, to be honest. I am going to say that I love the Xbox Series S Oreo edition. Like, I love it. It to me, it is not even like an ugly console. I love Oreos. I love the combination of like the black and white. I love the controller that it comes with. I think it would be such a cool little conversation piece. And yeah, I absolutely love this. It's one of the most unique and like stupidly delightful custom consoles that I've seen in a long time. So like that one for me is a winner, even if these other two were like, if you switch to that, like a camo PlayStation 5 and a Mountain Dew Xbox Series X, like with that same green color theme, I think I'm still picking that Oreo. Cause like, there's something about that. I'm just like, I love it so much. It's so dumb, but I love it. And yeah, the Mountain Dew, same kind of thing. Like I'm feeling the same way that like Seamus is. Like it's kind of like it feels like a history piece. And then the PlayStation, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of made my thoughts clear on camo. So there we go.
Yeah, very good. I did find a website where they actually show like other images of the Oreo
Oh, cool.
Xbox, so it's only attached at the bottom apparently. So yeah, I want to find
Okay.
out who got this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous now.
Speaking of some weird custom stuff, what did you think of the Ninja Turtle scent controllers for Xbox? Did you see these?
I did. The one thing I couldn't understand was it looks like there's a slice of pizza, but I don't know what that thing
Yeah.
was. What is that?
The slice of pizza is the scent diffuser. So you can use these as regular Xbox controllers.
Sure.
Just no slice of pizza in the back. You can just put the batteries in and use them as an Xbox controller, just a normal one that's Ninja Turtle themed, and it's fine. But if you want the extra level of detail, there's a slice of pizza attachment that you put the batteries in, plug that into the battery pack in the back of the Xbox controller. So almost like think of like a memory card or a rumble pack or something like that back in the day. That's how this thing works. You plug it into the back of the controller and you put some pizza flavored essential oils into that controller, and a little fan kind of like blows up little spurts of
Oh
pizza
my
flavored
God.
oil. Uh,
Smell-o-vision.
it's basically, yeah, it's like a scent diffuser that
That's
just kind of shoots
crazy.
pizza out. So it's like a full slice of pizza that smells like a slice of pizza. It's wild. Um, but like if you look up the promo pictures and stuff, like you can just remove that pizza slice and you don't need to be smelling pizza all the time. You can just
Wow.
use it as a regular controller.
That
But
is crazy.
it's pretty wild that it works and it comes with that. And there's again one of those like I love that movie, so it's like these things are just like I kind of want one just to be stupid.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's one of a kind, and it is something you want to own. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. And what makes them special is they're so limited that it's just, you know, yeah.
Mhm.
And so Mark, what is, do you own, have you owned any weird special edition consoles?
Hmm.
I know you own the Destiny PS4.
I do. Yeah, Destiny PS4 would be my main one. I did own the NES version of the Game Boy Advance SP. So it folded down, looked like it had the NES graphics and stuff printed on it, and um, that was probably the most themed console I ever had because it was very overtly like different from any other Game Boy Advance SP. That it was like, oh, that's the NES Classics version. I think it was. And it was released with the NES Classics line. Um, that's probably the most like glaringly obvious one that I've had. What about you?
So I've owned a few. So I owned, this is going to be weird. I owned the 3DS Zelda version. It was
Mm.
all black with gold. That was a really
Yep.
pretty system. That was
Yeah,
really
my
cool.
wife had that one too.
Yep. And they've made some other Zelda ones, but that was the one I owned. Then I
Mhm.
owned, it's kind of themed, the Wii U Wind Waker
Right.
edition of the 3DS, or the Wii U, which I thought
The
was
Wii
really
U.
cool.
Yep.
Really
Yep.
neat,
With the gold
limited
inlays
amount of,
again around
yeah,
that one.
just,
Yep. Yeah,
just very
that's the one my brother
classy.
had. Yeah.
Yeah, I owned the Star Wars PS4 Pro
Hmm.
that I would say that was pretty weak edition because it was just a black PS4 with a couple of like decals. I mean, it was painted on, but and then it said Star Wars in the front, but nothing really, and the controller wasn't that special. So I wish they had done a little bit more with it, to be honest. But yeah,
Hmm.
but that's it. I've not owned a custom Xbox console, no other PlayStations or Nintendo. So yeah, the one I always wanted was the Dreamcast was the NFL 2K Sports Edition, all
Hmm.
black. Looked really, really cool. Came out the
Yeah.
life of the end of that console. Um,
I always pick up consoles too quick, I think. So like the only one I forgot was like the new 3DS, and that one had like the faceplates, right? So I got the Super Mario
the
Maker
small
one,
one, right?
this the tinier one, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I always I always jump on stuff maybe too soon for a lot of custom consoles, I guess. To my own detriment. Because like I said, like my wife had that Zelda edition 3DS, and I just had like the regular 3DS. My brother had the Wind Waker or Wii U, and like I just had the regular one day one. It's like I gotta stop buying stuff so quick because I'm missing out on like even my Switch, like the OLED. I have the boring white OLED. My brother has the Pokemon version, and my wife has the Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom version of the OLED. And I'm like, yeah, this boring white thing, and you guys are just rocking these amazing custom consoles. It sucks. So I'm around them constantly. I was looking at my brother's today, and I was just like, damn it. He hasn't even picked up the game. He doesn't even have Scarlet and Violet, but he's rocking the Scarlet and Violet Switch. I'm like, give me that.
What?
It's my favorite game last year. Just give
I
me
thought
it.
he
And
wasn't
he's
even
like,
going to
no, I'm
touch
not.
those games. I thought he was going to
Right,
touch those.
that's what I was like. Did you pick them up yet?
Oh.
He's like, no, not going to touch them till they're fixed. I was like, they're not going to be fixed. The DLC's coming out. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to touch
So
them. I was like, give me
strong.
your Switch then. We'll just do a swapsies. He's like, no, I
Exactly. You
like
don't
the
deserve
Switch, but I
this.
don't
Did you
want the
slap it out of
games.
his hand?
No, no, he was just like, no, it's mine. I'm going to just went off and played. Just like, yeah.
This
I'll steal the
this makes
box
me
just to
think,
be petty.
though, Mark, with a new Nintendo system probably coming out next year, I would love it if they did something like somehow where it's basically the shell is just
Mm,
it just comes off, new shell comes on. I would
yeah,
love it. Same thing
yeah,
with like the if it's Joy-Cons again, shells go on, shells go off.
yeah,
And but I think Nintendo's like, we're leaving too much on the money. We want people to own 6 Switches.
yeah. Yeah, that's
So
it. Because you get people that'll wait or buy two or whatever, and it's yep.
yep. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well. Let us know if you have your favorite custom special edition system
Mhm.
we'd love to hear about. And if you own one, send us pics because, pictures, it didn't happen. So moving on, one bit of news this week, excluding the console covers for Xbox, is we are going to say goodbye to an iconic voice in video games, probably the most iconic voice in video games from the last
Mm.
30 plus years. And that is Mr. Charles Martinet. He's retiring from being the voice of Mario. He debuted his voice of Mario in 1994 with Mario 64. Ever since then,
Mhm.
he has been the iconic voice of Mario. and people thought something was up when they heard the voice of Mario in Mario Wonder, and also in the
Mm,
newest WarioWare. They said that doesn't sound like him.
mm,
And they were correct because he did not voice either of those games. So his last voice talent, original voice talent, I believe, unless it was in like one of the sports games, will be Mario Odyssey. And he is going
right.
to become now a Mario ambassador.
Yeah.
Essentially, just be going a goodwill guy. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be on the stage at the Nintendo event that's in Seattle next month. And we haven't heard who the voice of Mario is. I don't know if it'd be like a mystery, and they won't tell us. And it does currently sound like regular Mario. We were talking about like, are they going to change the voice of Mario? Because Mario used to be Captain Lou Albano. Then he used to
Mm.
be, what's his name from the Mario movie, Bob Hoskins. So there's been other Marios. Mario hasn't always
A few
sounded this
voices.
way.
Yep.
Yeah, so we thought maybe Chris Pratt, get a Chris Pratt sound alike, so it's more New Yorker.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Mark. Uh, Obviously, you're the bigger Nintendo fan than I, and
Mhm.
I'm wrong. Actually, his first role was actually in Mario Teaches Typing, so I'm wrong in 1994 as well.
Right. There we go. Yeah. That's and then yeah, Mario 64 after that. Yeah. I don't. I'm very curious to see where they go with the direction of this. With the success of the Mario movie, you have to imagine they're looking for a little bit more brand synergy, a little bit more, uh, recognizable or across brands, right? Um, and if they're leaning more into voice acting in a game, because realistically, you could just kind of keep kind of using Charles's like recordings of like wahoo, like that kind of stuff. Like you could just kind of recycle that
Sure.
from stuff you've already done, right? But like if they're going more voice heavy with further Mario games, like yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Whether it would be more of a Chris Pratt sound alike, I really don't think that Chris Pratt is going to be the universal voice of Mario. But you got to also think this is for theme parks. This is for everything. Mickey Mouse talks to you in Disney. There's a Mickey Mouse that you can go and he's bright and the mouth moves and like the animatronics in this, this character kind of thing that you can meet and greet are incredible. And there's rides and different things where again, Mickey Mouse is talking. You have to think they're thinking about doing the same thing with Mario and using a voice that's going to sound the same whether you go to a theme park, play a game, watch a TV show, watch a movie, whatever this is, it's going to have that same Mario quality. And I hope they use a little bit of Charles Martinet, but with the movie being so successful, yeah, they might just be like, all right, this guy sounds kind of like Chris Pratt. You're the new voice of Mario. Congratulations. Like it's, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like when you get the Robert Downey Jr. sound alike when you want a new
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man. Um, and that's a choice, of course.
Yep.
And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, because I wouldn't mind if Mario got a new voice and he um, maybe is okay saying more than just wahoo and things like that. Maybe he, maybe it's a new stage for Mario. Mario doesn't have to be the same thing he's been for the last 30 years. He could do
Mm-hmm.
something new and have voice, personality, tell some jokes, a witty catchphrase, a rap, Mark. I mean, we all want Mario to rap, right? Death metal,
Absolutely.
thrash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Um, it's not the only voice that he does. He does, I believe, Wario, Waluigi, a
Yeah.
bunch of other of the Mario
Maybe
characters. So,
Mario, Luigi. Yeah. He was a bunch.
so I'm happy for him. I mean, he's going out on his own terms. He still gets work for the company. It's like Stan Lee. Stan Lee doesn't write. He didn't write comics for so long. He was just an ambassador for Marvel. So I think this is good and ensures that Mario will have a voice for many years to come. I don't know if they're doing a James Earl Jones for like Darth Vader, where they just captured all of his voice and just plug into a computer and go AI, make him say something. Okay. But I guess we'll find. And that might be a big announcement at the Nintendo event. They may say, here's the new voice of Mario.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, that could be a really cool one. I wonder, they have announced that they're doing a video. There's going to be a special video message. So they did this announcement today, and it was just kind of like typed out. And I thought it started out with like Charles Martinet has been the original voice of Mario in Nintendo games for a long time. And I was like, oh my God, he's dead. And
exactly.
My heart broke, and I kept reading, and I was like, I don't like today. And then it was just like, yeah, he's like stepping into a new role, and there's going to be a new voice actor. Okay, weird. But then they were like, there's going to be a video that we'll put out in the future. It's like, why? Why are you announcing this right now? Why not just the video, or why not at the same time or the same day, or like it's a very weird timing for this.
Yeah.
And I really don't why'd they pick today? Like, did they have something else? Like, so you got to think that there's either an announcement or a reveal or something coming up where people will be like, again, if it's more like, are we seeing that at Gamescom or something? Like, are we seeing more Wonder where people will be like, that is definitely not Charles. Or like, is it?
Yeah, because
it's weird, right?
It is weird. And if he's going to be ambassador, I mean, doing voice work isn't really, he's not like doing mocapture and doing the jumping. That's not a lot of effort, is doing the voice talent. He can sit in a booth and do that. But now he's going to be traveling? That seems to be a little bit more.
He did say the voice is hard on him. He said that when the movie was out. He said he couldn't do the voice. There was some kind of, I'll misquote it, I'm sure, but there was something along the lines of he couldn't do that voice for 2 hours or for like the span of a 2-hour movie because it would kind of wreck his voice. Which, I mean, you got to think like the poor dude that does Mickey Mouse that like always has to talk like this. I don't know how he does it. And you got to think like high energy Mario, like if he did the Charles Martinet version of Mario and he was always like, okay, let's rescue the princess. Like, that's got to just wreck you after a little while, just hitting that high pitch kind of thing. So, and he's getting older. You know, his voice is probably not as easy to do as it would be when you're younger. So, yeah, maybe this is just kind of like I have to retire kind of thing. So we're stepping back and doing a new role, and we'll announce a new person, or we won't announce a new person. Who knows? But the timing of it's very curious. That's got me questioning it the most. Is why is the video ready at a later date? Why is this today of all days? Why did they find it important to announce it right now? It's weird timing. So I'm excited and curious to see what happens between now and our next episode, because I think there's going to be something else that comes out in the next 2 weeks.
Because as we're speaking, Gamescom is tomorrow morning, actually. That they'll be showing a lot of, like Jeff Keighley has his opening night live, and then Xbox has a 60-minute something or other, I think. And Nintendo, I don't think they've even said what they're doing. It may just be a booth and showing off Mario Wonder and things like that. But we've got, and it's kind of weird with Mario Wonder being less than like 45 days out, essentially. And we've only seen the one preview of it. And I know a lot of people got questions. So I'm guessing if we get anything, we're going to get something in September at that event. And it'll probably be a direct tied with that Nintendo event. And that's like mid-September. So we know it's happening. So I just imagine that's too much for them to leave on the table. They've got a lot of games coming out, and they typically like to go in for like 30 or 40 minutes. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's get into what we've been playing. So Mark, let's hear it. What you got?
I have not been playing much. As I mentioned at the start of the show, a big thing of mine is, as you've probably noticed over the last few episodes, I have not been playing a ton of Fortnite because I haven't mentioned it very often. So this season of Fortnite, for one reason or another, I just haven't been getting into. and it's been nothing against like nothing I hate about this season. Like I've heard some people complain about the jungle biome and all that kind of stuff. I kind of dug it. I kind of dug riding the raptors and using them as a vehicle kind of thing or a traversal method. I loved the Transformers tie-in with Optimus Prime. I can't wait for that pack to drop in November with Bumblebee, Megatron, and the Fortnite specific Transformer that they've kind of created for the game as a tie-in.
Well, that's right.
That's going to be their big, like they always do like a winter, holiday season character bundle kind of thing that's released in stores as like a physical, I'll say game, but it's like a case that comes with a code in it. Whatever. But it's releasing in stores like 2 or 3 weeks earlier than it is digitally. Super weird. So if you want that first, look in stores in October. But so this season is ending, I want to say like Wednesday or Thursday, and the new season starts Friday. So I don't think there's going to be like one of those big season ender, community events or anything like that. I think it's just going to be like,
Drake's not showing up.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening this time.
Okay.
We have been getting little teases that it's going to be another kind of heist themed something. So that happened a few years ago. There was like the heisted season. So this one seems like it's going to be kind of similar. They've released a couple of like schematics of some sort of underground layer building vault, something or other, and a couple of teases of like gather your crew, get ready to, do something. So I like those kind of seasons. And I think that leads more into a community event. So at the end of this season, like maybe we'll be busting into a bunker or we'll be busting into a vault or something like that. Or there'll be, something big. So if you follow like the story of Fortnite, this season you went through an event that kind of brought a character back and brought her memories back and all that kind of stuff. And I'm guessing more of that will be revealed in the next season. We'll find out like maybe someone else took over her underground bunkers and all the stuff that she was doing a few seasons ago. So there's a bunch of Fortnite lore that people can follow, but like I had been sitting on this and I was like, I need to unlock Optimus Prime because there's no way I'm missing that skin. So the last couple of weeks, like I said, being on vacation, finishing up Pikmin, and then my nephew coming home, he was like, "Did you finish this yet?" And I was like, "I still don't have Optimus." He's like, "You got to catch up, dude." So I just like hard focused on like just going in and just completing challenges that would get me bonus XP that I could level up. Right. And I finally hit it like yesterday. I hit where I want to be. I don't have all the bonus extra skins and variants and all that kind of crap, but like I'm at a good point where if I don't play it anymore between now and Friday, I'm like, I'm good. I'm settled. I got my Optimus. Let's just do that. So but doing that and playing that much and that focused kind of like reinvigorated my interest in playing. And now that my nephew's gone back home, I'm like, we got to play. We got to make sure that we play more of this season than we have. Cause I've been like so distracted by whatever, like Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor and Pikmin and this and that, whatever else, Tears of the Kingdom, that I'm like, I got to get back. I got to make some room for this. So I've been playing that, and I was showing my nephews the RG35, some of the old like Game Boy games. We were playing Tony Hawk 2, 3, and 4 on the PlayStation. We were playing like the original Super Mario Brothers. I did like a full-on, I tried to beat the game, like no warp pipes, no nothing. I got to like the last world and just didn't have it in me. I kept making really dumb mistakes.
Did you do save states?
No, nothing. No rewinds, no save states, nothing. Just straight beat through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I should have turned on rewind because it was one of those days where I was just like, I was like in the groove for the first few worlds, and then I was making really dumb timing and just dumb mistakes that I don't usually make. So then I was like, screw it, warp pipe finish, and I did that one. So that was fine. But yeah, so they got a kick out of it, and they're like asking, and these are like 9 and 11-year-olds that have never owned a Game Boy or anything, and they were just so obsessed with this little thing. So that was really fun to like introduce them to games that I played when I was their age on the Game Boy, bring back that nostalgia and see how they liked it versus like something on a PlayStation 5. So it's kind of neat that way, but I haven't been playing anything else like new. so, so I'm kind of terrible this week. So what have you been playing?
No, I totally get it because I was like totally in the mode of Final Fantasy 16, going to play that, beat that, and then I'm like, what's next? And it's like, okay, well, I don't have a lack of games to play. I've just got a new PC, so I was playing some Cyberpunk. But what I decided to do is look, what else is out there? What's what's going on Game Pass? Is anything new on PlayStation Plus? And then I know I've got a couple of games I have to knock out before the coming season. So I have started back The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom again. Mark, I was talking to Logan because Logan, I think he's done, but he was like, or he's not finishing it just because he can do some things. But he's been totally distracted. But I'm 55 hours in, Mark. I've still only beat the one temple, and I feel like I've done nothing in the game. This is a problem for me. I don't do that well with that. I need a little more structure. And so like, what do I need to do? I'm like, Logan, what do I need to do to get ready? And I said, I think I need to find the fairies to get, bless my armor. Well, how do I get them? Well, you have to do this. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, I met one part. I'm like, well, it's not my quest log. Well, no, you got to do this part before it goes into your quest. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to remember. And I've got 85 things I can do in this game. So I'm like, oh my God, it's too much, Mark. It's too much. And then it's so easy to get distracted and spend and I've spent no time in the caves. You been in the caves yet in the game?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the caves is another spot. I know a lot of people like them. I don't. I don't like the caves. I don't think they're interesting at all to me. That's just not for me. I like wide open spaces. I don't like enclosed areas like that. So it's just not for me. So I have not really explored there. I mean, unless there's something really cool that I haven't found there, I'm just like, it just seems dark and light it up.
I ended up getting fed up with the caves and I built a contraption and flew through a ton of stuff and then started just shooting the arrows everywhere to light things up. Yeah. And it was just this like, at first I was going through slow and methodical and like trying to make sure I unlocked every little area and explored every little thing. And I just got to this point where I was like, screw it. I'm building a flying machine. Let's go.
Exactly.
And just started flying through, just dropping arrows everywhere. Yeah, I crashed into the side of an underground mountain, just like started climbing up. It was a mess. I just got very distracted.
Yeah. I mean, the Skylands, there's just too much there as well, although there's not much there. So I think that's kind of maybe more of I think they sold that going up, but I don't think there's much there, to be honest, which is kind of funny because I thought that was going to be the big draw, but it's not. It's really the cavern seems to be the big thing that people are really into, which is fine. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I may find all the fairies because they do increase your gear, which is kind of nice. I think that's a holdover from the last game. But then I got to find out where I need to go next. And I've unlocked a bunch of the story pieces. And so I think I'm just going to push through and beat the game, do all of those because those are where I really find the fun. I do want to get the Master Sword because I know it's in the game. I do want to do that too. Got to figure out how to do that. So there's going to be a lot of asking Logan and complaining to Logan.
Yeah,
that's what I do in this play game. I won't stop. I'll just keep playing and keep playing. So that's where I'm at. So that's what I'm playing. That's going to be my focus after that. But I did play some shorter games just for fun. Double Dragon, Gaiden. This is just a very fun, think of Shredder's Revenge, that pixely, almost I'm trying to think of the chibi anime big heads fighters for Double Dragon, and this game is a lot of fun. It is essentially the more play, the more characters you can unlock to play with it. They all have their own skill sets, although I found that the level of difficulty this game, it felt like, oh, this is really easy. Then in the final boss push and I couldn't beat the boss, it just got too difficult. I'm like, okay, I'm not having fun now. But I found the fun as long as it lasted. It was from Gamefly, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool, a cool update. I would like to see more franchises do this type of thing. It's a lot of fun. This isn't on any service yet, but I hope it will come to a service because I think it's a lot of fun. And it's got multiplayer co-op, so what's better than beating up people with your bros or your gals?
Yeah, and is it one of those games that becomes they built it for multiplayer, so the bosses in that case would be easier if you had a couple of people playing, or does it scale at all?
I'm guessing it's going to scale. That would be my impression of it, to make it to layer in the give them more health or something like that. And you get power ups. There are like, you get coins. If you get enough money, you can pay to just automatically revive yourself. But you can have unlimited continues. But the continues start you at the beginning of the round or whatever. But if eventually you can get enough, Mark, where if you don't have enough money, enough continues, it'll just wipe your progress and you have to start the game over again. So you can make it as difficult as you want or as hard as you want. So I think it's well worth it if you're into those games. A good brawler. Another game I played that's just dropped on Game Pass called Broforce Forever. I played Broforce before. This is like the newest iteration. And it's just a fun game. It's like a roguelike, but you essentially are unlocking classic prototype characters, like an Arnold from Commando. Blade is in this, but they give them all wacky, goofy names to avoid copyright. And it's just dumb as hell, and I loved it. It's so much fun. You're going through this level. Your goal is to take down, like, rescue prisoners and go and beat the boss at the end. And you explode the environment, which is cool. So, like, you know, you launch a rocket, it's going through the environment. It's taking it out. And it's pixely, and it's got a great sense of humor. And I just think it's a blast. So it's a game I could see myself going back to, just to play like a level at a time. Just fun and no-brainer, and it always makes me laugh when I'm like, it's Blade. Why is Blade in this game? I don't know. It's fun. And his name is dumb.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like little cops in it.
This is out for what? Is it Xbox?
Is it only on? So it's on Game. No, I played it on PC Game Pass. So is it not on console Game Pass?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm wondering. Is it just console or is it just PC? Or is it?
That's a good question.
Can you get it on any of the consoles?
I've got it up on the website. Oh, they introduced Zebro, Warrior Princess, Desperado, Demolition Bro. Oh my God, so many good characters. Yeah, does it say? It says because Xbox Game Pass. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh no, the original Broforce is on Game Pass.
The original one is. Oh, okay.
But it says Broforce Forever Update. Brofest Forever. Is it just an updated version of the original Broforce? Because that is on Game Pass. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So that's an update. So if you have the original, so this could be, if there's a Broforce Forever update, that could even apply to like the Switch version or anything else. I'm gonna have to test that out. I'm gonna have to see what's different with that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just they've gotten so many characters they've knocked off that makes it so much fun because they have their own abilities, and that makes it really fun too. Like one's a melee character, one's launching missiles, one's throwing bombs. So I think it really makes the gameplay very fun and flexible, which makes it a really fun time. And it's put down, pick up. It's perfect Switch probably game because you can just play really quick, put it away, and break it out. And it's I think it does save your progress if you want. I can't remember. Because I remember I could go back, died, and I could start the current level I'm on, and they were very fast too. I think most levels lasted 2 minutes max, like unless you really wanted to get in deep and kill everybody, but they're very quick, so even better. And let's see. Lastly, I'm so excited for Mortal Kombat 1 that I forgot, I didn't forget, it's just been on my back burner, is I said I would get back to the DLC or the expansion of Mortal Kombat 11 called Aftermath. I bought it, I had it, and I just hadn't gotten around to play it. I'm like, I'll get to that eventually because I knew I was going to. And wow, Mark, this has me even more excited for Mortal Kombat 1. I beat it. I love the campaigns in these things. They're so much fun. They're goofy. They're over the top. And I really missed it quite a bit after, playing Tekken and Street Fighter, where they don't really have good campaigns. They're just like, oh, we're going to fight and we'll have maybe a little cutscene, but it's nothing really important. It's just getting them to the fight. But where Mortal Kombat's just bat crap crazy. And this also includes the new expansion. And then it also included a lot of unlockable characters like Rambo, RoboCop, Joker, Spawn, trying to think whoever else. There weren't many like new characters. I mean, I think there were some classic Mortal Kombat characters locked, but I always like the weird characters that show up.
Yeah.
So I had a blast. Beat it. It was short, probably 3-hour campaign. Really had a fun time. Enjoyed it. I tried doing some of just the regular multiplayer like local, just to try it out, try different characters out. But it was a blast. And I like it in the campaign. They make you play other characters too to get
Yeah.
through it. So it does mean that you're experiencing pretty much everybody, which is great. I love that because then I can find out, oh, I didn't know I'd like that character. So
Yeah.
very excited for this, for Mortal Kombat 1 that comes out in September. So it just wet my whistle. And I will probably do the same because I'm sure they'll drop an expansion for that game. I'll beat the main game and then I'll get the expansion later and then play all the fun characters like Homelander, Peacemaker, the dad from Invincible is in that as well.
Yeah. Omni-Man?
Yeah. Omni-Man.
yeah.
Yep. And which is great. So more to come, but yeah, my focus will be on Tears of the Kingdom, and then Mark, when I got my PC, the CPU came with the code with Starfield, the premium edition, so I'll be playing that on PC. So, which is going to be fun, and that allows Logan then to play Starfield on the Xbox Game Pass or whatever, so we don't have to worry about sharing it. So it'll be nice.
Beauty.
So that comes out September 1st. So get ready. Yeah. I don't know. Are you interested in Starfield?
Very much so. Yeah, it's inching so close. I was talking with a friend at work today, and yeah, both ready to go.
Very good. Well, that's a good transition. So now we're going to talk about the games that we have yet to play or the games that are coming out for the remainder of the year. You know, this is the prime time for gaming. Things have gotten a little bit better with more staggered releases in January, in the spring, in the summer, but the big games always drop in the fall, and there are no shortage this year. I think people are saying this is probably one of the best years in gaming ever. I think Zelda was smart to get out of the way and get the game out there early, so it gives people plenty of time. So when Mario Wonder and all these other games drop, Pikmin, you don't have to worry about competing with time. So with that, Mark, we got two questions. Which game are you excited for the rest of 2023? And what games will need to go to your backlog that you just won't be able to get to, but you still want to play that you haven't got to this year?
Oh, okay. So games that need to go on our backlog. So I kind of read this differently, that like right now they're on my backlog, but I want to finish them.
Oh, like, either way. If you,
but they might get backlogged. So I'm going to kind of like bunch all of these together because I have some that are on my current backlog that I'm like, if I don't get to these now with these must play games, it's going to be, they're going to get pushed. You know what I mean? So like something's going to get pushed somewhere. So we'll see kind of what plays out over, you know, the next few episodes of this show and the next couple of months. So the games that I'm most excited for, let's start with those. And you already knocked one out right away because you just mentioned it, and that's Starfield. That is super high on my list, super top of mind, and it's so close that I am very, very excited. I love Skyrim. Absolutely have played that game several different times on several different consoles in various degrees of completion, but have always enjoyed my time with that game. Putting that in space is going to be fun. I love No Man's Sky. I think those combinations of things are going to be really, really interesting. So I can't wait for Starfield. Assassin's Creed Mirage is another one that's super high on my list. I love that series. I've played every iteration. And this one going back to the roots, I think is a great choice because I felt, as much as I liked Valhalla, I felt that there was maybe a little too much to do. It felt the same way as Tears of the Kingdom, right? When there's so much to do, you just get that paralyzed by choice kind of feeling that you're just like, I'm so overwhelmed that I need to put this down and play Pikmin. And then you forget about Zelda for 4 weeks.
And then you don't know where you left off. So you're like, well, God, I'm going to be so lost. I don't remember how to do the controls.
Exactly. Yeah. So at this point, yeah, I'm scared. and I'm going to mention Zelda in a second, so spoilers. Yeah, so going back to a story that's focused that I can finish in 20 to 30 hours by the early reports so far, Assassin's Creed Mirage looks incredibly tempting to me right now. Same thing with the Pokemon DLC. I think that'll be just like you were talking about with the Mortal Kombat stuff. I think the Pokemon DLC will be a nice little distraction to pop in for a few hours. The Sword and Shield DLC was fantastic. I loved it. Adding more Pokemon, so I am ready to go for some Scarlet Violet DLC and adding new Pokemon in there. There's like that. They just announced like a whole section where you can get starter Pokemon from past Pokemon games. So like I am going to build a team. I'll tell you that much. Which I mean I've already kind of done through Pokemon Home, but like being able to catch them, train them from like day one, like just it's gonna be good stuff. And then the last two we talked about one of these already, and that's Super Mario Brothers Wonder and Mario RPG. Wonder being probably the top. Like I need to play that game. I can't wait. And then RPG, like super excited to go back. Yes, I can go back and play the original on several different consoles, including this one where I can just pick it up and play anytime I want to, or the Super Nintendo Classic or whatever. But it's going to be really cool to see the new art style and some changes and all that kind of stuff. So that's like my must playlist for this fall. Will I possibly get distracted by other things? Of course. I just mentioned a new season of Fortnite starting Friday. There's going to be some other stuff I'm sure that will drop that Todd will mention or someone else will mention somewhere that'll be like, ooh, I definitely need to play that because I didn't know that existed and it sounds delightful. Always happens to me. But those are my games so far. My backlog, I've tried to keep kind of short for this because there's other things. Like I just got Tentacular for the Quest 2, which you control like a giant octopus kaiju.
Oh, wow.
And Rex and stuff.
Tentacular. Yeah.
Heard it's really, really good. But I didn't add that to this list. So honorable mention. So the only Quest 2 game that I like need to play, and I don't want to push this one because I mentioned pushing it last year, and that's Moss 2. So that is like, I own it. I just have not had time to like sit down and dedicate myself to something in VR where I can just really, really focus. Like we've been playing Beat Saber and a bunch of stuff with my nephews, but it's just those like fun games that you can pick up and play and pass around. Like this thing, I'm kind of like, I want like 3 hours to myself and drain the battery in my Quest and just like be alone in that little world with my little mouse bud. So that one I need to finish by the end of the year. I will push off Starfield, Assassin's Creed, whatever it takes to finish Moss. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, another one that like just said, I got so overwhelmed by that one that Pikmin came out. I got that instant little dopamine hit of like, hey, I finished today and got 2% more done this game. Awesome. Good for me. Yay. And that set off those little happiness triggers in my brain a lot more than like being lost in Zelda did and feeling like I didn't know what was going on. So I really need to get back to Zelda. And the last one, I am ashamed to have not played Metroid Prime Remastered yet.
Oh, yeah.
I love that series. I love that game. I beat that game on GameCube. It was probably one of, if not my absolute top favorite GameCube game. Then I haven't picked it up on Switch yet because there's been so much else to play and I have not done that, but I need to. If anything from my backlog gets pushed back to 24, it's going to be that because I don't even own it yet.
Oh, that's right. Did you try to get a physical? Did you get a physical? Were you trying to get a physical copy, or did you want to just?
I think I might wait for the physical, but I'll get it digital. I don't really care. I don't know. It just hasn't happened yet. But again, if anything gets pushed back, it's going to be that. But I need to at some point. It's been years since I played that game. but it's just like that little thing where it's like, yeah, I can't wait to get it. Oh, wait, what's this shiny new thing? It's like, okay, now it's the time to get back to Metroid. Oh, there's another shiny new thing. So that just keeps happening and happening. And I'm sorry, Samus. I still love you. But that's my list.
It's the best way to play it now, too. It hasn't looked better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if I really had to pick like what's going to hit my backlog, that's probably number one. I would say, sadly, like Starfield might end up on the backlog just because it's a Bethesda game. They're always buggy at launch. They're always super big. They're always like games that you can revisit. So like that could potentially like I dive in, I explore a little bit, and then I move on to something else and I really hit back in Starfield next year. Like I could see that really being added to my backlog. And the same thing with Super Mario RPG. I just did a pretty decent playthrough of the original not that long ago. So like if something gets pushed back to like 2024, like, you know, push back a little while, it's going to be that one. So I can really see myself pushing some things off to finish Tears of the Kingdom, Moss 2, the Pokemon DLC for like a palate cleanser, and then Assassin's Creed, because I can finish that stuff like objectively, you know. What about you? Where's your balance right now?
I'm just building a list here, Mark, and it's painful. It is really dense, and I don't know my move forward because I just look at so many games that I'm interested in, and that's the problem. I'm interested in too many. Now are the games that are must plays, so I have to get past my mindset of what are the must plays and what are the I'm interested in. I can always try them out later. And depend on, you know, a lot of these games that I'm like curious about. Like we just had Atlas Fallen drop. That looks really cool. It looks like a action melee combat game. Looks really fun. I heard it's only 10 hours long, but I'm like, well, when am I going to play that? I don't know. It'll have to be later. Maybe when it's on discount or something like that. Comes to Game Pass. So that's going to probably go in my backlog. Immortals of Avium. It's like the EA shooter, fantasy first-person shooter. That looks really cool too. You know, maybe I wait till that goes on Game Pass because the EA Play those games on going on Game Pass 6 months later. So I'm trying to justify where these games might go along with my passion and then I'm like, and hopefully things that will open in January. So I'm kind of doing my backlog first. Another game that would probably go on my backlog is probably Baldur's Gate 3. I don't own it yet, but I'm hearing so much about it. But once again, it's a game I'm not sure if it's for me. I am not a computer RPG type guy where it's like top down and you've got like turn-based combat, but it's tactical and it's almost like overwhelming. It's like Diablo, but it's not really click, 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 click. It's click. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let me click this. And it's probably too much of a game. I heard it's like almost 200 hours or something like that. And it's like, I just want to try it to see what it's like, but I may just watch people play it and that might be satisfying enough. I mean, but the one funny part about that game is, Mark, I don't know if you hear about, but you can cast a spell on any animal and it will talk to you. Sometimes they'll give you quests and then you can battle them. So it's just a crazy game. And also it has romance. You could like have relations with a bear. Well, a druid that turns into a bear, not a bear, because that'd be gross.
Yep.
Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's not for me. So, and this is where my conundrum comes in as well, because I don't know where Mario Brothers Wonder and Super Mario Brothers RPG will come in. Because I feel like those games are like, they're not going to get spoiled. I mean, those aren't games like Mario RPG is really old. I never played it. I'm really interested to try it out, but it's like, what's pushing me to try it versus playing it on my, you know, this device, you know, I don't know. So that might get pushed. Super Mario's Wonder. I've never loved many of the new Mario, like side-scrolling games. I'm more of a 3D Mario game player. So that might have to go in the backlog too. And then, yeah, I mean, and Cyberpunk, this makes me sad again. Cyberpunk is going to go in the backlog again because I've got it and I've enjoyed it. and I want to get through it, but other things are calling to me louder, so that's probably going to go there. And then Metroid Prime Remaster, it's a game I never beat. It's going to go on my backlog too. I own a physical copy, so those are probably going to be the games that go on my backlog for going forward. But the games I really want to play, it'll be a combination of how much do I want to spend, what can I get through GameFly. Some of that may change what I play. Armored Core 6. It's a FromSoft game. It's mech combat, but it looks so fast, so stylish, so cool, and it's taking away a lot of the Souls-like things I've never really liked about those games and making it more about the combat and the build and going through there. It's not got the weird, like, we're not going to explain how this world works at all. We're going to be vague and, we're not going to tell you need gas for your mech, but you need gas. But to get gas, you have to meet a wizard and, level 13. And there's only 1 gallon. And it refills it, that type of thing. That's one of the things I don't like about those games because it's like they're just so vague, and a lot of people love that. I don't, but this seems like it just looks beautiful, looks fun. Yeah. I can get it through GameFly, so I'm hoping I do. It's in my queue. If I get it, I will definitely be playing it. If it doesn't get shipped to me, then I'm moving on to Starfield. Starfield, I'm so excited for. I've not really played a Bethesda game since Skyrim. The Fallout games were not for me, but I love Skyrim so much. So I'm very excited to see what they've done with this world. I think it's a game where I can find the fun in my specific way. I may not be the guy that wants to build a plane. I may not be a ship. I may not be the guy that wants to do a certain thing, but I may just want to go in for the combat. Or I may want to find some weird story. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm sure I'll see what people start doing. Like people are building the Millennium Falcon. People are building the Mass Effect ships. People are building Gundams. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that'll probably inspire me to do something or find out how somebody did it or finding out what the good planets are. Like, they have the best missions. Because I'm probably going to need somebody to because I don't want to miss anything cool, especially the side quests. Because usually the side quests are where a lot of the fun is. Like the Hangover quest in Skyrim is one of my favorites. Where you wake up drunk, you don't remember what you did, and then you have to do basically a walk of shame to find out, okay, who did I piss off? Where am I banned? It's so much fun. I love those quests that they do. So Starfield will be there. And that buys me enough time. Well, not enough time, but still enough time to really get into that game until Mortal Kombat 1 comes out. The good thing about Mortal Kombat 1, it's not a long game. So I can knock that puppy out, have fun, get my fix. But I'm also not having to play it when it needs to hit. Because once again, I don't have to worry about spoilers or anything like that. So that's definitely on my list. It will be a must play. But the good news is that then tides me over. So between Starfield and Mortal Kombat, then I have time for Spider-Man 2, which I have per the collector's edition. I'm so excited for that game. And once again, it's not a long game too. So that's perfect for me. It's not a life game. So I can put Starfield aside, play that game, finish it in probably 20 hours, have an awesome time. And that's October 20th. So that then leads me to a spooky game because I want to play some spooky games in the fall. So Alan Wake 2 is coming out, which is, I love Remedy's games, but it's coming out October 27th. So that buys me like a week between that and Spider-Man. And I do want to play some spooky games. So I may just put Spider-Man aside for like a week to then play Alan Wake 2. So I'm going to do this in a way that I think will work. So hopefully it does. Then after Alan Wake 2, essentially it's really, for me, it's going to probably be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I always love playing the Call of Duties. If I can get it from GameFly, I'll play it. If I don't, I will wait till it is available on GameFly. I'm very patient, man, and I will leverage my subscription to get those games. And if that doesn't work, there's a couple other games like Flashback 2. It's one of my favorite games of all time is Flashback, the original. And they're making a sequel. That might have to be a game, though, that I have to see how reviews are because it might be horrible, but I'm really excited about that. That comes out November 16th. And then depending on where I'm at with, if I want something else to cleanse the palate, that might be where Super Mario Brothers Wonders comes in. And I've got one of my vouchers left for a game.
Right.
So I can do Wonder or I can do RPG because I have to use it before February or it expires. So I am going to get one of those games unless Nintendo announces something big and weird that I haven't heard of. But I will use it for one of those games. And the one I'm a little bit excited about, but I don't know, Mark, once again, I'll have to look for reviews, is the Avatar game. That's coming out December 7th.
Right. Oh, shoot.
End of the year. I love the Far Cry games, and mixing it into that fantastical world just seems like it'll be a great mix. And but once again, availability, money, budget. I mean, there's a lot of games I've talked about. I can't buy them all. So once again, GameFly will come in handy to make choices for me, and then the rest will just go on later that I'll get them later. But that's kind of where I'm standing currently. Yeah, it's a shame that we have to make these choices, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you just be able to like pause time for a bit for everyone except you and finish the games that you want to and have an unlimited budget. But I think the way you're doing it is such a great way, because you kind of like, I was just kind of like, here's a list of games that I hope to get to at some point. Yeah. And you're kind of like, I'm going to play this after this, after this, after this, after this, and time it out this way, because I think I'll have enough time to beat this, or at least hit it at a certain point and fit it into this place. And like even the spooky game, like you have things timed and just so well thought out. I like the way you're tackling this, sir.
Well, the only complication is this year, Mark. I will be in Michigan for Thanksgiving, so I will be losing prime gaming time. So I won't be here. I'll be out of my home, so I won't be gaming. So that's many days of available gaming time that are just won't be there. That's fine. I'm visiting family. I love my family. And then I have in-laws visiting for the 19th through the 29th of December. So that would be time I would be taking off to game as well. So I just don't see myself saying, hey, in-laws, you guys go watch NCIS or I don't know, PBS. I'm going to be down here doing serious work. Close the door, lock it, and then play Starfield for 6 hours or something. I don't know. We'll see. You can
get away with that as long as you have some headphones on and you're not screaming profanities in a multiplayer game. I think you could pull it off.
Yeah, I'll just use what is it, the work button you push and all of a sudden spreadsheets come up.
Yeah, exactly.
That might be the safest one. Plus, they haven't seen their grandson in many, many years. So I'm like, entertain your grandparents. Pay no attention to me. Pay attention to your daughter. Pay no attention to your son-in-law. It's only fair. It's only fair, Mark.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sacrificing the kid so you can play video games. Todd.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, yeah, my mom's coming to visit me next week, so I'm sacrificing, Mark. No game time for Todd. Come on,
right?
Big man.
Right. Yeah.
So selfless.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So all my game plans could fall apart. I could be playing Skyrim nonstop or Starfield nonstop for the next 5 months too, and everything just falls apart. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with those big games, man. They hook you in, and it's like, all right, guess I'm not playing anything else for the next, like you said, 3-5 months, whatever it is. It's like, shoot, okay. Like,
yeah, and we're not guaranteed that there's no surprises left in this year. Little micro games, Nintendo may drop something out of the blue at their show. Gamescom may have a hidden surprise. Game Pass. They always announce new games coming to Game Pass, and that may be like, oh, thank you for that. Or PlayStation might do the same thing. So, yeah. My plan's only as solid as the release schedule that games are on it currently.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, I hope you've got your games planned out, or maybe you're playing it like Mark and saying, whatever tickles my fancy, maybe something new's coming to Fortnite, more Pikmin to get, more Pokemon, who knows? I mean, just enjoy your gaming. Doesn't matter. It's not about FOMO. It's about having fun.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. Well, tell people they can find you.
You can find me everywhere, mostly on Instagram or Threads, or hanging out in our Discord as _Canardian.
Yeah, you can follow me at TOXtra on the X. I'm still there. I am spreading my wing on Threads with Secret Friends Unite as well. I'm there as well, which is kind of nice. I'm hoping they'll add in DMs on Threads eventually and add some things in. I wish I could just transport everybody from X over to Threads and Instagram. That'd be so much easier, but it's a battle.
Apparently a web version's coming this week, so if you're looking to do desktop and that kind of stuff, that's a big one that I miss from Twitter. Is I always had just Twitter up in a window or an app on my desktop screen and didn't have to look at the phone. And I find that's a big disconnect for me with Threads. Is for some reason Instagram I pop into my phone and I check it, but that rolling kind of timeline of threads or tweets or whatever, I miss having that on my desktop. So that'll be kind of nice. I've heard that's dropping this week. So by the time people are listening, we might have a desktop or a browser-based version of Threads that might be a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the easy switching within X. It's like between accounts, it's very quick and easy. Threads is a little funkier. I think you have to log out to get into your other accounts. Like for me, for like SSView, when I do that, I'm like, I wish it would just be easy to just swap accounts very easy quickly and so I don't post something as someone else. But we'll see how it goes. So that's where we're at.
On Instagram. Yeah. They have it figured out. It's so easy
exactly
on Instagram. Like I have 4 different Instagram accounts, and it's like, just do that, but for Threads. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they had like 50 million people drop on it right away. And then it's like, you got to put that stuff in there or people sway and they'll just go to TikTok from now on. That's, I think, where everybody's headed. Yeah. Well, I'm not ready for TikTok yet. TikTok's not ready for me, apparently. Oh, well. So yeah, that's where you can find us. Obviously, everything, secretfriendsunite.com. Go there for all of our content and our Discord group for great content within ourselves. Lots of good conversations. So check that out as well. So thank you for joining us on this journey in the world of video games. Mark, thank you. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back in 2 weeks, folks. And as always, it's always better to game together.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow @SecretFriendsU on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.